Epi 8, The Nabal Protocol, The Grey Rock Method. This episode is a tactical survival guide for people who cannot leave yet, or those co-parenting with a high-conflict person. We are introducing the Grey Rock Method through the story of Abigail and Nabal, 1 Samuel 25. This is the biblical blueprint for de-escalating narcissistic rage. 1. High-stakes packaging title, Option A. Tactical. The Nabal Protocol. How to handle a narcissist's rage. Title Option B. Biblical. Married to a Fool, The Abigail Strategy. Thumbnail. Visual. A man, Nabal, red-faced, screaming, looking drunk, angry. A woman, Abigail, in the foreground, looking calm, turning her back to him, perhaps fading into a gray stone texture. Text. Don't engage, or be a gray rock. Script. The Nabal Protocol. The hook. Living with a ticking bomb. Visual. Host is calm, almost whispering, creating a safe atmosphere. What do you do when the narcissist is in your house? Maybe you can't leave yet because of finances. Maybe you are co-parenting. You are walking on eggshells. You are trying to avoid the explosion. Every conversation turns into an argument. Every question turns into an interrogation. You need a shield. In psychology, we call this the Grey Rock Method, becoming so uninteresting and unresponsive that the predator loses interest. In the Bible, we call this the Abigail Strategy. Abigail was married to Nabal, a man whose name literally means fool. The Bible calls him surly and mean in his dealings. If you are married to a Nabal, someone who is arrogant, ungrateful, and dangerous, this episode is your survival manual. Today, we learn how to stop feeding the beast. Phase 1. The Provocation, Narcissistic Rage. Visual, text on screen. 1 Samuel 25:10, The Discard. Let's look at Nabal's profile. He was wealthy, but he was miserable. David sent men to ask Nabal for food, politely. David had actually protected Nabal's shepherds. But look at Nabal's response in verse 10. Who is this David? Why should I take my bread and water and give it to men coming from who knows where? This is classic narcissistic entitlement. He rewrites history. He ignores David's kindness. He insults David's identity. Narcissists love to provoke. They want a reaction. Nabal wanted a fight because chaos makes them feel powerful. He got what he wanted. David strapped on his sword and came to kill him. Your Nabal does the same thing. They insult you. They withhold money. They demean you, just to see if they can make you lose control. Phase 2. The Abigail Strategy, Strategic Silence. Visual, text on screen, the Grey Rock Method. Now enters Abigail. She hears that her husband has just started a war. Does she run to Nabal and scream, "What did you do, you idiot?" No, that is negative supply. Narcissists love it when you scream at them. Verse 19 says, she told her servants, "Go on ahead, I'll follow you." But she did not tell her husband Nabal. She did not tell him. This is the core of grey rocking. You stop sharing your plans. You stop sharing your feelings. You stop trying to explain reality to them. Abigail realized that talking to Nabal was useless. She took action around him, not through him. She went behind his back to fix the mess he made. If you are dealing with a Nabal, stop trying to get him to understand. He understands. He doesn't care. Stop talking. Start moving. Phase 3. The timing. Wait for the crash. Visual, text on screen. 1 Samuel 25:36. Do not cast pearls. When Abigail came back home, Nabal was throwing a party. He was drunk. Verse 36. So she told him nothing at all until daybreak. This is discernment. Never argue with a drunk narcissist. Never argue with a narcissist in a rage. She waited until the morning when he was sober, when he was weak. Then she told him what happened, and look at the result. His heart failed him, and he became like a stone. When you stop playing their game, when you stop feeding them emotional reactions, they lose their power. Abigail didn't have to fight Nabal. Her silence and her wisdom defeated him. God eventually struck Nabal, and he died. Abigail didn't have to lift a finger. End. Become boring. Visual. Host leans back. I know you want justice. I know you want to prove them wrong. But while you are in the cage with the lion, do not poke the lion. Be a gray rock. Be boring. Be brief. Be businesslike. Save your energy for your escape plan, not for the argument. I'm your name. Be like Abigail. Survive the night. Next time, we are going to the top of the chain. We are talking about the ultimate manipulator, Jezebel and the Ahab spirit. Viral Shorts Strategy, The Fool. Clip. The Bible tells the story of Nabal, a man whose name literally means fool. He was rich, mean, and impossible to reason with. If you are married to someone who twists reality and insults you for sport, stop trying to explain yourself. You cannot reason with a fool. The Silence. Clip. Abigail saved her entire family by keeping her mouth shut. She didn't tell her toxic husband what she was doing. She didn't ask for permission. She just handled business. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop talking to the narcissist. Ready for episode 9? The Jezebel-Ahab dynamic is the most requested topic in this niche. We need to handle it carefully.